Welcome over your board, mate. welcome. My name is Metamonin and welcome to round 2 of the Pagnian GT3 series hosted by RaceOnOz's. Let's get right into business here for round 2. So what we've got coming up tonight, we see ourselves at Fuji, located in the high mountains of Japan. So we've got a 10-minute qualifying session to come up right after this practice race here. That's in-game time, 5 p.m. And then we've got the race straight after that, 27-lap race with a mandatory pit stop. It's well and truly going to be one to watch tonight. So this is the track, Fuji, 16 corners, 4.563 kilometres. There's your hotspots, turns 1. It's a very deep, fast braking zone heading into turn 1. Basically, you can go free wide there without any troubles. Anything beyond that, you sort of got to be cautious with everyone around you. Heading into turn 6, it's the midway through the mid-sector there. So little hairpin left-hander there, heading onto the back straight, heading into the really tight hairpin onto the chicane, heading into the last sector there. And it turns 10, 13, 14, 15 and 16 are all hot spots, because basically you can get an overlap wherever you can on those corners. So those are the corners to watch here. And the predicted pole time, I reckon it's a bit overgoing here, but a 1:38.2 could be our likely predicted pole position time here at Fuji today. So we get right into what the weather forecast is for qualifying. So qualifying weather will be heavy cloud. So the soft tyres will be the tyres of choice for the 10-minute qualifying session. But basically, you've got to come straight out of the pits, straight back in after that first outlap there. And then you've got to do a quick outlap to get across the line to be able to do a few hot laps there on that set of soft tyres. And as for the race, we've got medium cloud, light cloud, medium cloud, and then back to heavy cloud there. And of course, that is all synced to race. So completely different weather forecast in comparison to round 1. So the pit strategies definitely change up a little bit here. So if you do want to stay on the hard tyre, it's called the hard tyre strategies what I come up with. The pit window is before lap 13, so you can keep the temperatures up to scratch there. So they're near optimal level. Pros for this, track position obviously, short-term gain, because you get that, I think it's a 23-second advantage in comparison to taking a set of soft tyres in the pits. Obviously, the cons to this, heading into the later stages of the race, you lose that optimal tyre temp. Obviously, after lap 13 there, and after lap 13, you will experience limited grip. And we've got the hard to soft strategy once again, but the pit window is after lap 13. So the best time to get on a set of soft tyres is after lap 13, or even after the first lap of the race. If you're really gutsy to see you go on soft tyres to the end, but got to keep in mind that we've got that light cloud patch of weather in the middle of all that. So it's no doubt best to stay on the hards until we get that huge cloud cover towards the end of the race there. And here is how the championship standings come out after round 1. It's Slambo with a 7-point advantage over Stimson. Slambo clean sweep the last round with the pole position, the fastest lap, and coming out on the top step of the podium. And that sees himself on 27 points there. We've got Stimson, who ended up on the second slot of the podium there with 20 points. And then a very good performance from Ghost to end up in P3, the final step of the podium. He sees himself on 16 points. We go further down the list. We got kart number 1 in P4. Kart Dude rounding out the top 5 there. We got Westy Mike, season 10 Div 2 champion. He's actually got a decent result there with a 6th placing there. He's got himself 10 points. We've got Stozza, Williams, Benny and Penguin rounding out the top 10 there. And then for the preceding positions here, we got Cleaner, and we got Stu, Nige, AK, Turbo, and Ortec unfortunately not able to join the league this season. And we got the Juicy as a reserve driver. He is a privateer for this season. So as for the team's championship, it's right in the top left-hand screen. It's Next Level Racing with a slight advantage over Shelby Acoustics Racing at the top. Then in P3, we got Ignition Controls Racing. In P4, we got Bruce Howell Racing. And then rounding out the 5-team championship grid there, we got Gamesman Racing Team in P5. So those guys got a lot of ground to make up in this round, no doubt. So we will go to the live scenes. So we'll get this off the screen as we have a look at our entry list tonight. So this is Shelby Acoustics Racing. They've got 5 drivers. So strength in numbers for these guys. We've got Westy Mike, we got Penguin, we got Turbo, and we got Stimson. So that's a very good driver lineup there. A lot of experience. And we got kart number 1. He had a good result last week, and no doubt he's really helped Shelby Acoustics Racing up into the 2nd place in the championship there. Now, next up, we got Ignition Controls Racing, Stu and Ghost. They're both in the same car there. So unfortunately, the Bentley doesn't have many liveries to choose from. But Ghost, he got a very good podium last time out. He'll be looking to do the same thing today. And we got Next Level Racing. These guys are leading the team's championship. We got Slambo, we got AK, and we got Kart Dude. All those guys got a lot of experience in Div 1. And they got the championship leader in Slambo in the ranks at Next Level Racing. Then we got Bruce Howell Racing, we got Benny, we got Nige, and we got Williams. Then we got 2 Porsche guys there, and then we got Nige in the NSX Acura there. So no doubt a lot of experience there too. And then we got Stozza and AO for Gamesman Racing Team. These guys got to get good results tonight if they're to put their team up into the top 3 at least tonight. So no doubt top 5 performances is what they're after tonight. So this practice race is about to conclude here by the looks of it. So it's Slambo leading this one, and it's the last lap of the race because it was only a 5-lap race. He's closely followed by Ghost, so he's looking to have some return to form as well. Since last week, he came P3. And every time we've seen him in these practice sessions, he's been well and truly up there on the podium spots there. So he's looking for another good outing here at Fuji, as well as Slambo, who's going to come across the line in P1. He is our championship leader heading into round 2. So no doubt the pace is there for him. Then we got... So either kart number 1 or Kart Dude. We got Stimson in P4 there. So he's P2 in the championship. It was a good outing from him. So that's Kart Dude in P3. We've got Stozza rounding out the 5-lap practice race there in the 5th position. And we got Stu, Williams, Westy, Mike, AK, Benny rounding out the top 10. Nige, AO, kart number 1, Penguin, and Turbo rounding out the 15-car grid that we have set for today. So we should be about to go into the 10-minute qualifying session. We'll just have to wait a little while for the guys to get the lobby set up for the real race. So next up will be the 10-minute qualifying session. It's good to see we have no connection dramas either, so I'm really pumped for tonight. This is going to be a race to watch. This obviously hasn't been done for RaceOnOz's Project Cars 2 Sunday Leagues. So there's a lot more to play for this time around. Wait for Stu to send out the invite. So just bear with us here, guys. We'll get straight into the lobby as soon as that pops up. There we go. Right, we should be ready to go. So this is round 2 of RaceOnOz's Pagnian GT3 League. Inspiration from the Blank Pane Real World series. So we've got good connection here. I know Stu's talking to me there, but I don't have my headset connected to my controller. Got to connect it up to my PC at this stage. So we'll just wait for the rest of the grid to slot on in, and then we'll be straight into this 10-minute qualifying session that will set the grid for tonight's 27-lap race. And hello there, Ziop, amazing, mate. Great to have you on board with this stream tonight. The entry list that we've got set for today. So here we go for Shelby, Acoustics Racing, Westy Mike. We've got Penguin, Turbo, and Stimson. Strength in numbers, like I said before, for Shelby Acoustics Racing. They got 5 drivers strong in their ranks. And then there's cart number 1 rounding out their 5-car assault there. Now, as for the team's championship, as far as I know, the team's top 2 cars, their points will be contributed to the team's championship. So not the whole 5 cars will be contributed. It'll be the best 2 points cars there. Now for Ignition Controls Racing, we've got Stu and Ghost, both racing the same car. No doubt they're giving each other pointers on how to drive those. And then we got for Next Level Racing, these guys are leading the team's championship. We got Slambo, we got AK, and we got Kart Dude. Slambo and Kart Dude, both in the top 5 in the championship after round 1. Now for Bruce Hale Racing, we got Benny, we got Nige, and we got Williams. These guys sitting P4 in the team's championship, so they're all trying to get some good results tonight to put their way up into the top 3. And we got Gamesman Racing team, we got Stozzer, and we got AO. So a 2-car assault there for those guys. They're all the way in 5th position in the team's championship, so these guys got to get good results tonight if they're to make some inroads at the top of the team's championship there. So we know it's only round 1, or round 2 now. Round 1 was last week. Still everything to play for in this 7-week series here. So we've still got 6 rounds to go. And the driver's worst round is dropped as well. So we'll see how that plays into the outcome as well. And hello there, Lord. Great to have you on board watching on Twitch, mate. So everyone should be loaded in now. So I think we've only got a 15-car grid for tonight. So connection is all good as far as that's all concerned. So we should be green lights for tonight. No dramas. So don't go anywhere. This is going to be a ripper of a race. So go through. So 10-minute qualifying session with a 27-lap race. So there is our circuit we are racing on tonight. So 16 corners, 563 kilometres. There's your hotspot turns. There's a lot of overtaking opportunities on this track. And the most notable overtaking opportunities are those turns that you see on screen there. And like I said, it's probably a bit harsh, but predicted pole time was a 1:38.2. In that practice qualifying, we only saw a 1:38.4. So we'll see if anyone can get close to that predicted pole time. No doubt there will be someone challenging for that. But if you can get a 1:38.2, no doubt you're going to see yourself on pole position. So weather forecast once again, qualifying, we have heavy cloud. So the soft tyres will be favoured in this scenario. So the guys are going to have to get out on track as soon as possible, come back into the pits, change to a set of soft tyres, get back out on track, and set their hot lap for qualifying. And then as for the race, it's all synced to the race here. We got medium cloud, we got light cloud, go back to medium cloud, and then heavy cloud. So that mid stage of the race there with light cloud, that's really going to favour the hard compound tyres there. There's less cloud cover over the track, so the track is much more heated up. And we know when soft tyres are heated up to the extent of overheating, they wear extremely quick. So the guys must plan out their strategies accordingly. So going back to Fuji pit strategies here. Now the guys, they don't actually have to change tyres, but there is a mandatory pit stop requirement. So the first and probably the most notable pit strategy we got is the hard tyre strategy. Stay on the hard tyres to the very end. So the pit window for that will no doubt be before lap 13, while there's still limited cloud cover over the track. Obviously, pros for this, you'll have track position because you get that time advantage gained out of pit lane in comparison to the guys that are taking a soft compound. And no doubt a short-term gain until the guys on soft tyres catch right up to the rear end of you. The cons for this, obviously later on in the race, optimal tyre temp will be lost after lap 13. And in doing so, that will grant the drivers with limited grip in comparison to the soft tyre strategy. As for the hard to soft strategy, that must be done after lap 13, so you can have all the cloud cover in the world over the track. Pros, long-term gain if you can react quick enough, and you can retain your optimal tyre temps throughout that last stint of the race. And you also are granted with more grip. The cons to this, obviously, is loss of track position. And I've got to add something else. You'll have loss of time in comparison to the guys that go on the hard compound for the whole race. I think it's at least 15 to 20 seconds pit stop if you go in for a set of tyres. So just got to keep that in mind. So here we go. We're going out on track now. So the first driver out on track is kart number 1. So I'll get every notable bit of information up on screen here. And I'll go to my PlayStation view so I can actually see everything really well. So the guys seem to be warming up their tyres. So there might be a few guys that opt to stay on the hard compound. We'll wait and see how it all unfolds. So we've got a 15 car strong grid here for round 2 of the Pagnian GT3 series. We're currently in the 10-minute qualifying session. This is the official qualifying session for round 2. So it's all to play for as of now. So the guys got to be in the groove as soon as possible. So we're currently on board with kart number 1. He's the first to cross control line at this stage. In the background there, we've got one of the Bentleys. So we'll just scroll through the grid here. We got Benny in the number 61 Porsche. We got Westy Mike in the number 85 Bentley there. So he's currently P2 on track. Then we got Nige in the Acura there. We got Stimson in the 44 Porsche there. And we got Kart Dude. He's in the NSX Acura, number 162. Kart number 1, he's in the number 148 NSX Acura. You got Penguin, he's also driving the sister Acura there for Shelby Acoustics Racing. Alongside kart number 1, he's in the number 147. And we got Turbo, he's also driving the Acura for the Shelby Acoustics Racing, number 147 as well. And we got Ghost, the first of the ignition control guys. He's in the number 88 Bentley there. We got Williams in the 19 Porsche there for Bruce Hale Racing. And here is AO in the number 168 NSX Acura for Gamesman Racing Team. We got AK for the Next Level Racing Team, the number 38 Bentley there. So there is your reference times there, 157.2, their outlap times there from those guys. You got Slambo in the number 77 Porsche for Next Level Racing, the championship leader. He's looking to have for another good result tonight. We got Stozza in the number 143 Porsche there for Gamesman Racing. And we got Stu for Ignition Controls Racing in the number 88 Bentley there. So we'll go back on board with car number 1, he was actually first out on track, and it remains to be that way. So he's currently in the 3rd sector now, and he's opted to stay on the hard compound. So we'll get cockpit view up as we spectate on board in the last sector at Fuji here. So last corner now, you'd want to maximise your corner exit here to get your top end speed towards the end of the straight. So it's a very long straight, this one. It's probably one of the longest that we've got in this 7-round series, if not the longest. So these guys, it'll feel like forever for these guys. So across the line now, 1:39.6 for kart number 1, but Westy Mike goes on top or into P2 now, and that's Stimson up in the P1 with 1:39.3. So we'll go back to track side now, and we've got AO. He's moved up into the top 5 with 1:41 flat. We've got Slambo, the championship leader. He's moved up in the P2 with a 1:39.4. He's only less than a tenth of a second behind his championship contender in Stimson. So these guys, top 2 on the championship, already top 2 in the qualifying standings. We'll stay on board with Slambo because he's 4 tenths up on his quickest. As he enters the mid-sector, the car looks very stable. As he takes a narrow approach heading into turn 6, he's trying to maximise his corner exit down the back straight. He's got a bit of traffic up ahead, but being on a hot lap does not have to get out of the way here. But the pros to this would be the draft heading onto the back straight, but that is lap done and dusted for Slambo as he loses the rear end heading into turn 10. So he's still up on his time there by 2 tenths, so we might actually have to go back on board with him because there is still a bit of time to be gained on this lap if he can hold on to it. So we got less than 5 minutes to play in the 10-minute qualifying session for round 2 of the Pagnian GT3 series. Onto the main straight now for Slambo. The car looks a bit taily on the back straight here. So he's right in the draft now. Should be able to get a yield there. So kart number 1. Or is that kart dude? That's kart number 1. He's been pipped the pole position there from Stimson with 1:38.7. Slambo improves with 1:38.8. So the top 3 guys are separated by less than 3 tenths. And Ghost, he's moved up in the P1 with 1:38.7 there. He's barely pipped Stimson to pole position now. There's 2 100ths in it. This is insane. As Penguin going to the top now with 1:38.6. So these times starting to get faster and faster as the track starts to grip up in the later stage of qualifying here. So we'll stay on board with Penguin as he cracks another hot lap here. So the top 5 times separated by less than 4 tenths. All to play for here in the dying stages of qualifying for round 2. So slightly down in the 1st sector there for Penguin. What has he got in store in the 2nd sector? It looks very clean out of turn 6. He's still got provisional pole, but to be able to cement that pole position, he must improve on that 1:38.6. So what's he got in store at the end of this mid-sector here? Does the car hold on through this double chicane? It does. There's no evidence of exit oversteer there. And he's 3 tenths up on his quickest. This is on board for a 1:38.3. He's got to hold on to it in this last technical sector though. Uphill braking zones, very easy to go very deep on the brakes, but very easy to really stuff it up as well. Slambo sets the new quickest time with a 1:38.4, but Penguin is on board to pip that time as he heads onto the main straight now. So the championship leader, Slambo, has got provisional pole at this stage. As Penguin goes across control line in a few seconds now. What's it going to be for Penguin? It's not going to be quick enough. So P2 as fast as he goes. Kart Dude moves up in the P3 of a 1:38.7. So the top 5 drivers still separated by less than 5 tenths of a second. Now Benny, he's on the first corner now. We'll actually stay on board with him to see what his first sector split is here. So I think he's got one of the Shelby Acoustics racing guys up ahead. So exiting the first sector now. He's slightly up on his quickest here. Might be worth going on board cockpit view to see how much work is required to keep this car on the track. So we head into turn 6. Want to try and maximise corner exit here as we head onto the back straight. It's a kink in the straight. So you still got to get the car turned in just a little bit. So heading into turn 10 now. It's a very deep braking zone here as we head into this very technical hairpin double chicane here. We've got a car off to the right back there, one of the Shelby guys. So he's half a second up now, Benny. What has he got in store for the rest of this lap? We'll go back on board trackside view as we watch him go up the uphill braking zone. And Slambo has set the new fastest lap of the qualifying session, a 1:38.2. He's got the predicted pole position time. So has anyone got anything in response to that? He's got almost a half a second lead over his second closest contender in Penguin. He's really blitzing the field in the later stages of qualifying, Slambo. And Penguin pips him on pole position, goes pole with a 1:38 flat. Awesome time from him. And that's a bit over half a second quicker from Benny. So awesome time from him to go up in the P9. We'll go on board with AK here. Next Level Racing in the number 38 Bentley. He's in the mid-sector now. So Penguin, he's in the prime seat to maintain that pole position. If anyone's to go any faster than that, they must get a 1:37.9. So predicted pole time was a 1:38.2. And 2 drivers have pipped that time. And we still got 2 seconds left in the session. So whoever has crossed control line a few moments ago are able to go for another hot lap as AK unfortunately loses the rear end in sector 3 there. Williams, he's 2.4 seconds off his quickest, so we're not going to see an improvement for him. So this is AO. He's on the back straight, the main straight now. So what is this going to be for him? Currently P12. Needs to find 2 temps if he's to improve. So across the control line now for him, and that is an improvement into P11. So he's not in the top 10, but any improvement is favourable there for him. We're currently on board with Ghost as he crosses the control line in a couple of seconds. He moves up in the P2 with the 1:38.1. So the top 3 drivers separated by less than 2 temps. The championship leader all the way back in P3. We got Stimson P2 in the championship, currently sitting P5. We got Ghost, he's in P3, sitting P2. Penguin, he's only just in the top 10. And he's in the prime spot to get a big haul of points tonight in round 2 of the Pagnian GT3 series here at RaceOnOz's. So that is qualifying complete pretty much, as we see the remainder of the drivers cross the line now. I'm not sure who crossed the line in the later stages there. We'll see how that's shaped up. So it's Penguin in P1, pole position. Wonderful lap from him. Ghost sees himself on the front row in P2. And we got Slambo, the championship leader, rounding out the top 3 there. Kart number 1, 4th. Stimson, 2nd in the championship, P5. We'll go further down the list. We've got Kart Dude. We've got Nige, we've got Westy Mike, we've got Stu and Stozza rounding out the top 10. And we've got Benny, AO, Williams, AK and Turbo rounding out the 15 car grid there. So we're about to get into the 27 lap race here for round 2 of the Pagnian GT3 series for RaceOnOz's. Let's go racing, boys. Looking forward to this one. So they are extremely close at the top. So the top 10 is actually almost less than a second separated. So that is extremely close. So the top 2 separated by 4 100ths. So that shows you how close the racing is at RaceOnOz's. So here we go. We're on the grid. So on the front row. And for the first time this season, it's Penguin on pole position. Alongside him, P3 in the championship. Seems to be a bit of a usurper so far. It is Ghost in the number 88 Bentley. for Ignition Controls Racing. And we got Slambo, the championship leader in P3. He's in the prime position to actually extend his points lead if he can get past Ghost there. And he sees himself in P3 for Next Level Racing. We got kart number 1 for Acoustics, Shelby Acoustics Racing in P4, sharing the second row alongside the championship leader. And we got Stimson, currently P2 in the championship, all the way back in P5. Not saying it's not a good position to start in, but he's got a little bit of traffic up ahead. So he's going to have to play it safe heading into turn 1, being on the outside line. And we got Kart Dude rounding out the third grid there in P6. We got Nige for Bruce Hale Racing in P7. Then we got Westy Mike for Shelby Acoustics Racing, sharing the 4th row alongside him. And we got Stu, the next of the Ignition Control cars, in P9. And we got Stozza, the first of the Gainsman Racing Team cars, in P10. We got Benny for Bruce Hale Racing there in P11. AO in P12. Williams P13. AK P14. Disturbed in P15. So we're about to sink in the race here. We're about to go green for round 2 of the Pagnian GT3 series. And we're green, and that's an awesome start off the inside from Ghost. He's going to go straight up in the P1 before the first corner. Championship leader is trying to send it down the inside of P1 heading into turn 1. He should be able to get the move done. That is move done. Very good move from the championship leader. He's already moved up in the P2. So a very good start from Ghost. He sees himself leading this one, heading into turn 2. Then it's Slambo. Then it's Penguin round out the top 3. Then we got Stimson. He's moved up 1 from the starting grid, up in the P4. Kart number 1. He's lost a few positions here off the start. He's going to make a bit more ground in the later stages of this race. We got Kart Dude right behind him. Nige trying to look down the inside, but not up far enough there. We got Cleaner. He's moved up a couple into P8. Very good start from him. We got Westy Mike in P9. Then it's Stozza round out the top 10. And here's the guys at the back. We got Benny. We got Stu in P12 there. He's about to get overtaken by Williams down the inside. Is he able to get it done? No, there's a little bit of contact. So he's going to have to redress that there. And he does so. He tries to hang it down the inside, but doesn't have the traction there. So he's just going to have to hold back there. We've got a battle between Turbo and AK at the back here. And it's Turbo trying to make a move up the inside of Williams there. So this stuff is really heated at the end of lap 1. It's Ghost with almost a 7/10 lead to end lap 1. Championship leader Slambo right behind him. Then we got Penguin in P3. He started pole and he's lost a couple positions off the line here. Stimson, he's still up 1 position after lap 1. Very good effort from him, trying to race a clean race to stay within the championship lead in comparison to Slambo. And we got kart number 1 rounding out the top 5. A little bit of a disappointing start from him, but he's looking to get right into it here. He's looking to build the composure as the laps go on now. So I think that's Kart Dude trying to make a move around the outside there. We'll actually get the splits up. As we go on board cockpit view with Kart Dude, he's trying to chase down kart number 1 in the Shelby Acoustics Racing NSX Acura up ahead. And behind him, we've got Nige for Bruce Hale Racing. So is he able to make a move down the inside? Because he is up far enough. You can see him in the rear view mirror now. It's very unusual to see no lights there. So it looks like he's just going to have to hold back a little bit, Kart Dude. So we'll go back up to the front where Slambo's actually chipped into that lead of Ghost by 0.2 of a second this lap. But it's starting to expand out once again off the last corner. It's 0.8 in it now. So very good pace off the opening 2 laps from Ghost. We've had no one make their mandatory pit stop yet. So no doubt there's going to be a very different strategies here as well. So last lap, this is the indication of who's the quickest on track. So last lap was a 1:39 flat from Ghost, a 1:39.1 from Slambo. He tries to look down the inside heading into turn 1. But he's not able to get it up far enough there. So a little bit of a nose poke down the inside just to show Ghost that he's there. We've got Penguin in P3. He also recorded a 1:39.1. So these top 3 times barely separated here. We got Stimson in the background there in P4. He's also recorded a 1:39.1 last lap. Kart number 1 in P5 there. We've got Nige. He's up in the P6 now. And something's happened. Something's happened to Kart dude, because he's all the way down in P14 now. So a little bit of a moment there from him. So we're on board with AO now. He's looking to make a move down the inside of Nige. He's on the attack here, trying to get very deep on the brakes. But it seemed to have lost a little bit of time for him. But that's Nige making a little bit of a mistake out of the double chicane there. And there was a little bit of contact earlier there. And now AO is under pressure from his teammate behind in Stozza. So these guys really got to play it clean here if they're to gain some ground in the team's championship. And it's Stozza trying to make a move up the inside, heading into the last corner. But he's not able to maintain the traction. So very good defensive manoeuvres from AO. He's really keeping a composed head here in the middle of this battle here. So we'll go back to the front, where it's still a 3/10 lead in favour of Ghost. But Slambo, he's going for another move down the inside, heading into turn 1. Not able to make it, not up far enough. So he's just going to have to remain behind for the time being. This is a fast-flowing track, this one, so the Porsches will suffer in terms of top-end speed. And it really favours the Bentley, so Ghost in the prime seat to get a race win tonight. But we've got to keep in mind, it's still early stages. We're on lap 4 of lap 27 here. So there's still a lot to play for. So this field is separated by 12 seconds here from Ghost to Westy Mike. So Westy Mike's had a moment at some point in the first 4 laps, because he was all the way up into the top 10 a few laps ago. So the top 3 only separated by 1 second here. Penguin, he lost the lead heading into turn 1. He lost 2 position heading into turn 1, to be more precise there. So it's Slambo up 1, Ghost up 1, Penguin's lost 2, Stimson's up 1. As far as that goes, I'm not sure the position changes. I'm pretty sure kart number 1's lost a couple, because he was starting on the second row. And we got AO, he's moved up at least 4 spots here, so a very good opening stint from him, but he's under pressure from his teammate behind in Stozza. So we might actually go on board with Stozza. We'll put cockpit view up as we see if he can make a move heading into turn 1. He's in the draft now down the main straight. So what's going to happen here between the 2 teammates for Gainsman Racing Team? So last lap, Stozza was a little bit quicker than his fastest lap of this race. So there's no move heading into turn 1. But AO makes a mistake on corner exit out of turn 1. And that's really invited Stozza to make a move relatively soon. Can AO hold off a charging Stozza here? The Porsche really fast in the mid-sector. And that's AO. He's letting out the throttle a little bit, but he's going to be able to hold down the inside there. There's a little bit of a nudge between the 2 teammates. So he's had a redress there, Stozza. So AO wouldn't have been too happy with that little love tap there from his teammate. As Stozza, he's looking to make a move heading into turn 10, but he's too far back. So these 2 really got to work together if they're to make ground at the top of the leaderboards here. We've got a pack of cars behind. There's 5, 6 cars behind here. Benny is leading that pack in behind for Bruce Hale Racing. And then we got Stu and P9 for ignition controls. And that's AO making another mistake. He's really feeling the pressure on this lap. His teammate Stozza is really applying the pressure. And Stozza's lost the rear end. He's going to have to rejoin the track here. And he's going to lose a couple positions here, I reckon. He's lost one to Benny. And he may lose one to Stu. So very unfortunate scenes there for Stozza and Gainsman Racing Team. So that's Stu going up in the P8. He'd really be licking his lips after that moment there from Stozza. So after lap 5, heading into lap 6, it's still a narrow lead by Ghost. Last lap was a 1:39.4. Place at 1:39.3 from Slambo and P2. So these two are separated, but less than half a second. Ghost is out wide there, and that's going to give the lead to Slambo. The championship leader is up in the P1 after lap 6 here. And he looks to be on the defensive here, heading into turn 6. So it's really close between the top 3, all from different manufacturers and all from different teams. And that's Penguin going off the track there. So he's lost a little bit of composure there. And that's Slambo trying to take the inside line there through this double chicane, heading into the last sector now. So Ghost gifted the lead to Slambo on lap 6. So he's got to get back into momentum now. Ghost, he really had some fine pace in the early stages of this race. We're seeing no one go in for their mandatory pit stop yet. So it's Slambo who leads this one on lap 6, about to end lap 6. But he's got a charging Ghost in behind. He's in the slipstream now. He might be able to make a move before turn 1. Slambo, he's trying to take a defensive line down the main straight here. He's trying to make it as difficult as possible for Ghost. And there's a little bit of a move being made before turn 1, and it's going to be Ghost. He should be able to make the move. No, he's going to back out of it very deep on the brakes. He's trying to get an overlap as we exit turn 1. Not able to get the traction on corner exit there. Penguin, he's also making his way up into this battle. You can see Stimson. And I think kart number 1 in behind. So those guys round out the top 5 there. We got AO in P6. He's got a little bit of a gap. And that's kart number 1 off into the outside wall there. On lap 7, disastrous stuff from kart number 1. He's got to get back into a groove now. He's got to be cautious on how he re-enters the track here, obviously. And you can see that front splitter. It's about to rip off this NSX. So he's going to be suffering from a lot of aero damage now. You can see him lose the rear end there at turn 6. So this is going to be a very difficult drive to the end for kart number 1. So it's Slambo who leads this one over Ghost, and it's bumper to bumper stuff. In lap 7, we're not even halfway through, and these guys are still battling it out for P1 here. It's a 3-car race for the battle for P1. We got Stimson, who's a further 2 seconds behind this pack. And these guys, I really commend them for their driving so far. This is extraordinary stuff. Extraordinary outings from these guys so far. They're really showing that they're on the pace tonight. Championship leader Slambo has the lead of this one, heading into lap 8. And it's Ghost trying to make another move down the inside. Is he able to pull it off this time? As he pinches the rear brakes and he rotates it at turn 1. Now Penguin is up in the P2 after that little moment from Ghost. So Ghost had a little bit of a rear lock going on heading into turn 1, and he had to correct that there. He's lucky to hold on to it and not end up into the inside wall. So very good driver control to keep the car on track there. He's just got to be consistent. But it's Slambo. He's really keeping a cool head, and that's why he's leading this race so far. He's got a 7/10 lead over his closest rival in Penguin. So Penguin had pole for this race, but he's all the way back in P2. So he's made one position up from P3. So he's looking to make that ground in the next stint, obviously. So we've got a couple of the guys in the pits. So I think that's kart number 1 in the pits repairing that damage. And we've got Stozza also in pit lane for Gamesman Racing Team. So a bit of an unscheduled pit stop there for kart number 1, no doubt. We've got AO up in the P5 now after that moment from kart number 1. So it's a very good performance from him so far. He's at least made up 5 positions. And we're on lap 8 here, so very good performance from him. We've got Benny up in the P6. We've got Kart Dude in P7. We've got AK in P8 there. We've got Williams for Bruce Hale Racing in P9. We got Nige rounding out the top 10 there. Turbo, he started last on the grid, and he's up in the P11 now. So he's made up a bit of ground here, heading into lap 9. So wonderful drive from him so far. We got Stu in P12 for ignition controls. We've got Westy Mike. He had a little bit of a moment on the opening few laps. He was up in the top 10, but he sees himself in 13th now. And we got kart number 1 after that mistake made last lap. And having to come in for an unscheduled pit stop. Sees him all the way back in P14. Now we got Stozza rounding out the 15 car field here for Gainsman Racing Team in P15. So he's trying to get back into the groove there, but his front splitter looks to be ripped off his car pretty much. The bonnet is all crushed in, so he's had a bit of a moment somewhere, no doubt. Now we're back at the front now. It's Slambo with an 8/10 lead over Penguin. So he's starting to extend this gap, the championship leader. So I might actually have a quick suss of the timings. It might give me an indication of who's recorded the fastest lap. So the fastest lap so far goes to Penguin with 1:38.4. So awesome lap time by him. So far he gets the bonus point. And that's 4 attempts in it between himself, Slambo and Ghost. So we're about to end lap 9 here. We've had 2 of the drivers make their mandatory pit stops. And it seems to have been a couple unscheduled ones. So we're about to enter lap 10 of lap 27. And we might actually go on board cockpit view with the championship leader. He's a very good operator by the looks of it. Overwhelming favourite heading into this championship, no doubt. As he has a little bit of a pinch in the rear brakes on corner exit there. So he lost a little bit of time at turn 1. So it's a 6/10 lead in favour of Slambo here. He's really hidden these apexes in Sector 1. He's only 1/10 off his fastest time now. So he's really trying to glide the car through that long right-hander as we head into turn 6. Trying to make his entry as narrow as possible so he can get a very good exit. You can see Penguin in the rear view mirror as well as Ghost all the way back in P3 there. So this is the battle for P1. And it's Slambo. He's keeping a very cool head in the mid-stage of this race. We're on lap 10 of lap 27. So probably not to the mid-stage of the race yet, but we're getting there. It's very wonderful to see that these guys are only 1.5 seconds adrift from each other. So we get back to trackside view now as we go up the uphill section in Sector 3 of Fuji. So we might see Penguin in screen now. There he is, and then we got Ghost following him. So very good performance from Penguin so far. He's in the top 10 in the championship. I'm pretty sure he's currently sitting 10th. So at this stage, he's looking to come home with a big haul of points for himself and Shelby Acoustics Racing here. We've got to keep in mind, Shelby Acoustics Racing, they're P2 in the team's championship. Next Level Racing, Slambo drives the Next Level Racing. Those guys are leading the team's championship. So it's Next Level Racing and Shelby Acoustics Racing 1-2 here. And then we got Ignition Controls Racing in P3. So 3 different teams, 3 different manufacturers in the top 3. So Penguin, he's sort of dropped off the pace a little bit. So those tyres must be killing him through the mid-stage of this stint here. Be very good if we actually have the details of their tyre deg on broadcast mode, but unfortunately we do not have that available to us. So we might actually go on board with Benny. He's chasing down Kart Dude up ahead in the NSX for Next Level Racing, I think it is. And I've also got the championship standings in the slider below, if you haven't noticed. And yeah, it's pretty much got all of RaceOnOz's sponsors as well, so it's a little bit of an innovation there. Now we've got AK, he's up in the P8 for Next Level Racing as well. So we've got a couple of the Next Level Racing guys in P6 and P8 there. And Benny is racing for Bruce Hale Racing. So he's looking to get a big haul of points for his driver, his championship, and Bruce Hale's Racing's team championship there. So we're definitely going to see a shake-up in the driver and team standings after this one as it stands. But still, the championship leader is leading this one in Slambo. He's got a 7/10 lead over JJ Penguin in behind. You can see Williams in the background there for Bruce Hale Racing. And then he's got his teammate further back in Nige in that NSX Acura there. And we got Turbo Stu in 12th position, and we got Westy Mike still in 13th. So he's still looking to make a little bit of ground in the mid-stage of this race. So AK is looking to have some fine pace here. He's only 1/10 off his fastest lap time here. So Penguin, he's moved up in the P1. So something's happened to the leader in Slambo. So sorry for changing the camera view here, but championship leader Slambo has made a mistake and he's been relegated back into P3. Now it's a battle for P1 between Penguin and Ghost. It's bumper to bumper between these two. It's less than 3/10 in it as we head into the last corner. And that's Ghost getting a little bit taily on corner exit there. So he's looking to have a little bit of an overlap heading into the last corner. Trying to get into the slipstream down the main straight now. We'll go on board with Ghost cockpit view. Now he's drifted off in the pit lane by the looks of it. So he's the first of the lead drivers to come in the pit lane. And that's a wonderful pit entry there from Ghost. So now it's the battle between Penguin and Slambo. And we'll actually see if Ghost opts to go in for tyres here. We'll see how long he has a standing stop here. So he looks to be going straight out there. So he's opted to stay on the hard tyres. So wonderful strategic play from him. So he's trying to get an undercut here. He's trying to get in front of Penguin for the lead. So he came in at a very good time here. And in before lap 13 as well. So we've still got light cloud conditions at this stage. So he's pitted in at the right time. So he's still going to have optimal tyre temps for at least the next few laps. So as it stands, we've got Penguin in the lead of this one by 6/10 over the championship leader Slambo in behind for Next Level Racing. This is Shelby Acoustics Racing versus Next Level Racing. So this is the lead for the team's championship as well. We might actually go on board at the back of the pack here. On board with Stu. He's trying to chase down Turbo up ahead. We might actually go cockpit view as he tries to make a move. Heading into the double chicane here and entering sector 3. And that's Turbo looking to be a bit taily. A lot of extra oversteer from him. So he's really feeling the pressure from Stu behind. We're only on lap 13. This is officially the halfway point in round 2 of the Pagnian GT3 series at Fuji. So Stu able to make a move heading into turn 1. We'll stay on board for the time being. He's in the slipstream, no doubt. Now, where is Ghost? He's P13 on track, so he's the first of the stoppers there. We've got Cart Dude and Stozza. They've also made their mandatory pit stops. So he's got a very good draft advantage here, Stu. He's trying to make a move heading into turn 1. Very deep under brakes. Can he pull it up? He does just that. But has he got it on the outside? No. I'm pretty sure Turbo, he's got the inside line. No, he's pulled out of it. So wonderful move from Stu heading into turn 1. We'll go back to trackside view now. As it's Stu trying to hold off Turbo. So he's moved up into the top 10, Stu. Wonderful move there. Nige is up in the P9 and he's chasing down his teammate in Williams. So we might actually go on board with Williams' trackside view. So we can see the backdraft there of his teammate and himself. So we'll see if his teammate can make a move on him relatively soon. These two guys would not want to make contact with each other, no doubt. No matter of fact, they'll want to be working together. So the lead Bruce Hale car is Benny in P6. So these guys all in the top 10, looking for a big haul of points, these guys. So very good results out there so far for these guys. We've got Stimson, he's up in the P3. And he's racing for Shelby Acoustics Racing as well. So it's Shelby Acoustics Racing 1 and 3 at this stage. And we got Next Level Racing P2. We've got a couple more stoppers in AO and Kart Dude. So these two coming in for their pit stops. And I think AO there has actually opted not to take tyres, so he's remaining on the hards for the end of this race as well. So that's Ghost going past. So he, effectively the lead drivers who's actually made their pit stop. He's moved up in the P11 now. So back to the front, where it's JJ Penguin leading over the championship leader, Slambo. It is 4 attempts in it, so it is bumper-to-bumper stuff. In the mid-stage of this race, we're on lap 15 of 27. We've got 12 laps remaining. These two guys still yet to make their pit stop, as well as Stimson and P3. So we'll wait and see how it all unfolds on track once all the pit stops are done. Because I'm thinking Ghost is really tracking well all the way back in P11, although he wasn't quicker than these two last lap. Last lap, the quickest on track is actually JJ Penguin. So a 1:39.2 plays a 1:39.7. And is Slambo able to make a move heading into turn 1? He's in the draft, heading onto the main straight. You can really see the advantage of the draft. As Slambo, he's trying to make a move heading into turn 1. He's going to get it done before turn 1. So Penguin has to back out of it before the braking zone heading into turn 1. But he's got the overlap done. But he's stuck on the outside now heading into turn 2. And that's going to be a wonderful move by Slambo. But is there going to be another cutback here? As Slambo goes out wide. This is the long right-hander heading into turn 6. And I reckon Penguin, he might be looking to make a move heading up the inside. No, he isn't. Because Slambo has cut that opportunity off. So wonderful defensive driving from him. So a wonderful move to move up in the P1 for Slambo, the championship leader. So Stimson, he's got a lot of clean air in front of him and behind him. So it's probably best for him to pit in as late as possible, considering the clean air he's got. This is Benny. He's in P4 for Bruce Hale Racing. But he's moved up due to a couple of guys in front of him making their pit stops. So we'll soon see Benny in for his mandatory pit stop, no doubt, as we are on lap 16 of 27. So that's Penguin. He's trying to make a move, heading onto the last corner in the uphill braking zone. He's right behind the rear bumper of Slambo. It might be a replicated move on the last lap as he remains in the slipstream now, heading onto the main straight. Is Slambo going to look to go defensive heading into turn 1? Penguin, he's got the draft, but he's not able to make the move before turn 1. He's just going to have to hold back this time around. And Slambo, he's made contact between himself and Penguin. He had a lot of extra oversteer, and that's Penguin onto the inside wall there. Disastrous stuff between the championship leader and Penguin. And that invites Stimson up in the P2. So unfortunate stuff there. Wrong place at the wrong time for Penguin. A little bit of the rear pinch of the brakes there for Slambo. Saw him rotate almost into Penguin, and that's put Penguin into the inside wall. It's very unfortunate scenes there for Penguin as he's relegated back to P3. So this is Benny in P4. And we got AK in P5. And we got Nige in P6. We've got Williams in P7. So these guys both in the same team, in Nige and Williams. And we got Stu. He's in P8. So he's starting to make up a little bit of ground in the later stage of this race. But he's still yet to make his mandatory pit stop. And we got Turbo in P9 and Ghost, the first of the pit stoppers in the top 10 now. So he's looking to make a lot of ground in the last 10 laps of this race. Now he's tracking well. Last lap was a 1:39.8 and he's quicker than the 3 guys in the top 3. They all recorded a 1:40 flat in Slambo, a 1:40.2 in Stimson, and then Penguin 1:40.3. So he's really gaining ground on these leaders. So the longer the leaders stay out, I reckon the more favour it is going to be for Ghost in the battle for P1. So last lap, after a result of that contact between himself and Penguin, a 1:41.5 from Slambo. Not sure what's going to happen with that incident there, but it's really put JJ Penguin into a uncomfortable position there, having to chase down Stimson in P2. And Stimson, he actually recorded a very good time last lap as well for 1:39.9, so he's tracking well as well. So he's really playing himself into this podium battle. I'm not sure, has Westy Mike made his pit stop? I reckon he has, but I do stand to be corrected if he hasn't. So we might actually go on board with Williams as he tries to chase down his Bruce Hale teammate here. He's lost a little bit of ground the last time we were on board with him. So these guys, they've backed off a little bit through the mid-stage of this race. So by the looks of it, they're trying to accumulate as many points as possible for themselves and their team. So very good team play here from these guys. So Williams seems to be acting as a rear gunner for the guys ahead in Benny and Nige, his teammates. And then the car in front of Nige is AK, and I'm pretty sure he's in the Bentley for next level racing there. So next level racing, guys, we've actually got Kart Dude. He's in next level racing. He's all the way back in P13. This is Nige. That's AK. He's for next level racing, and Slambo, the championship leader for next level racing. Last lap was the 1:39.5. It's been replicated by Penguin, who's right on the rear tail of Stinson. You can see the very different approaches around that fast right-hander as we head into turn 6. It's Penguin trying to get an overlap on Stimson, and this might be able to be made in turn 10 here. He's trying to get an overlap. He's in the draft. He should be able to get him on the brakes if he doesn't go defensive, so he pulls off to the left-hand side. But it's Stimson making Penguin's life like a living hell. And he's defended that P2 position really well there. So it's Stimson holding off a charging Penguin there. We might actually go on board trackside view with Stimson as we go on the uphill braking zone off the last corner. We're on lap 19 of 27. And that's Westy Mike in pit lane. So I do stand corrected there. But he's exited pit lane just now. But he's almost a lap down there. So the only driver a lap down is Stosler for Gamesman Racing Team, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure he had a bit of contact between something in the early stages of the race. And he's had to come in for an unscheduled pit stop. He's just trying to salvage what he can. So Stimson, he's held off an assault from JJ Penguin behind. Very good effort from him. And he's currently P2 in the championship, so he's looking quite fine to remain in that championship battle once again. So AK, he's starting to get chased down by Nige behind for Bruce Hale Racing. We're on lap 20 of lap 27, so the laps are starting to click down into the closing stages of the race. And we're still yet to see over half the field make their mandatory pit stops as Stu comes in the pit lane. And he's also opted to stay on the hard compound tyres there. So he's currently exiting pit lane now. We'll actually go on board with Ghost to see how he's tracking in this later stage of the race, because we know he was in the lead pack before he pitted in. And he's really hitting these apexes through the later stages as well. He doesn't look to be struggling on this set of tyres. You can see a lot of cloud cover over the track there. So the hard compound tyres no doubt will be starting to cool down. And it might be starting to get a little bit slippy for these guys. But it's all equal playing field. So he's 8 tenths off his quickest, and I'm pretty sure he still holds on to the quickest lap of the race. No, that actually goes to Penguin's direction there. And Penguin, he's actually moved up in the P2 now, so he's got past Stimson. And Stimson's only 2 tenths behind him, so he might actually have to go on board with Penguin. Heading into turn 1. He's actually made the move on the main straight there. So wonderful move there for Penguin. Unfortunately, we weren't on board to see it. And Benny, he's still tracking well in P4 there. And he's looking to get a good result here for Bruce Hale Racing. So a wonderful drive from him on lap 21 and 27. And we've got AK rounding out the top 5. He's currently under pressure from Nige behind. So the second the Bruce Hale Racing car is trying to apply the pressure to AK. And that's AK going out wide there. Now we'll go on board with Nige cockpit view as he tries to make a move heading into turn 6. May not happen this time around. And that's AK going out wide there. Nige on the power early because he got a narrow approach on entry. So he's right in the slipstream now. And it looks as though AK might go a little bit defensive heading into turn 10. He does just that. And he's really feeling the pressure from Nige behind. These guys are really using every bit of track, as you can see. A little bit of a rear tyre on the grass there for AK. Would have lost a little bit of rear grip there. But Nige going out a little bit wide, trying to get an overlap heading into the last corner. Can he do it? No, so he's just going to hold back. He's trying to get on the power a lot earlier. And he does. He's right in the slipstream as we head on to the main straight. Let's see if he can make a move heading into turn 1. This is the battle for P5. So at the later stage of this straight, that's when you see the slipstream effect really favour the guy behind. As he takes a look heading into turn 1, but he's not up far enough. So we're going to have to go on board with AK. He actually made a little bit of a mistake on corner exit at turn 1. So he's trying to go a little bit defensive heading into turn 2. As he tries to regain composure here on lap 22 or 27. And it's Slambo still leading this one. The last lap was a 1:39.5 from him, the championship leader. Penguin, he's a further 10 seconds down from Slambo. And his last lap was a 1:40.1. And those two guys, in a matter of fact, the top 7 guys are yet to make their mandatory pit stops. So they've got 5 laps to do so. We'll see how that strategy plays out in the next few laps or so. As we stay on board with AK here. He had a little bit of oversteer on exit of turn 10. 3 temps down on his quicker, so he's still tracking well. Still got very fast race pace here. Very consistent by the looks of it. So I think this battle has just died off a little bit. So we might actually go on board with Kart Dude. You can see AO in behind for Gamesman Racing. Kart Dude driving for Next Level Racing. They're both in the NSX Acura. So both in the same manufacturer. So both equal bits of machinery there for those guys. It's a 2-second gap between them two. As we see Nige and Williams, the 2 Bruce Hale Racing guys, come in for their mandatory pit stops. And they're opting to stay on the same set of tyres, so it seems to be the favoured strategy here. So the first driver to have made the mandatory pit stop is Ghost, and he is really consistent at this stage. And he's looking to actually make the ground up in the P1 by the looks of it. So he's only 31 seconds behind the lead of this race. Pit Transit is around that time. So I reckon he's going to have at least a 3-second advantage once all the pit stops are done. So Ghost could be in for a race win here by a comfortable margin. He's got one of the non-pit stoppers up ahead in AK. So we'll soon see him drift off in the pit lane. Slambo. Last lap was a 1:39.3. He's got a bit of lap traffic up ahead. And I think that's Turbo moving off to the right-hand side. It is, but Shelby Acoustics Racing there. So still yet to make his mandatory pit stop. So AO's looking really good for a solid result for Gamesman Racing Team. Unfortunately for his teammate Stozzer, back in P15, he's no doubt had a little bit of contact and he's looking a bit unsettled in the rear at turn 1. So he's going to be looking forward to next round, no doubt. This is Stimson in P3. So he's drifted off a little bit between himself and Penguin. So the battle for P2 has officially died off a little bit. But we still got a bit over 3.5 laps to go here at Fuji. And Benny, he'll come out with a good result as well. Still yet to make his mandatory pit stop, but he's drove a really clean and consistent race so far. Be really good if we can see him end up in the top 5. And sometimes that's just how you got to race. You just got to stay out of trouble at times. And obviously sometimes, or most of the times, it does pay off. And in that case, Benny, no doubt, is going to come out with a solid result today. As for Slambo, he's in a little bit of hot water here. And it's not for me to decide. We're just going to create a little bit of controversy heading into round 3. Because of that contact between himself and Penguin. No doubt that would have a little bit of a look into. That's the reality of racing. When you're wheel to wheel at 300 plus kilometers an hour, sometimes it can end extremely bad. And sometimes it can end extremely well. And unfortunately, it went for the bad way for Penguin and Slambo. They were really hard racing at the front. So the top 5 still yet to come in for their pit stops. So Ghost is starting to come onto the rear end of AK here. So he'll be really hoping AK comes in this lap, no doubt. So we can get on with the task at hand. So we'll go one position up on board with AK here. Even though this is not really a battle for position once AK has made his pit stop. But he's still allowed to fight against Ghost because he's still on the lead lap. And he's still racing for position here. And Ghost is losing the rear end a little bit out of turn 10. So he's really feeling a little bit of pressure on the rear bumper of AK here. So I reckon Slambo is going to take a huge gamble here and probably pit in this lap. Because it's the last lap you can pit in. And that's Penguin drifting off in the pit lane from P2. So he's just going to come in, stand for a little while on his pit boom. And then come straight out. So we'll see Slambo in this lap. We'll also see Stimson, Benny and AK in this lap. As Ghost makes the move up the inside. It's a wonderful move there from Ghost to get onto the task at hand and try to win this thing. So he got on the podium last round and he's looking to go 2 better up in the P1, and he's really shown that he's been a usurper in the championship so far. He's really bringing it to the top guys in Slambo and Stimson. And those top 3 guys are all racing for different teams as well. So it shows you how close this league is here at RaceOnOz's. This is Div 1. Obviously, they've got multiple divisions. Unfortunately, we can only live stream one because they all go on at the same time. So they got a solid community here. Obviously, if you want to get on board for next season, so check out RaceOnOz.com. You have access to all the Project Cars 2 forums there to put in an entry for next season. So that's Slambo drifting off in the pit lane. We'll see Stimson come in the pit lane as well. As he might get picked up for that, I'm not sure. Benny will also drift off in the pit lane. But as far as I know, if you take that paint area, you'll get a 5-second time penalty. So that's something to talk about as we head into the later stage of this race. And Slambo comes out with the lead, but the top end speed goes to Ghost in P2, but he's not up far enough, unfortunately. So he's just going to have to settle for P2 by the looks of it. And we've got lap traffic up ahead in Stozza. That's Stimson coming out in P3. That's going to be Penguin coming across the line in P3 there. So he had pole position heading into this one, and he's been relegated back to P3 there. Benny coming out on track in P8. We've got AK, looks to be coming out on track in P9. As Stu's right up to his top end speed as he's down the main straight now. But that's going to be AK with a relatively fine advantage there between himself and Stu. So Slambo, at this stage, he is going to win this one. He's going to go 2 in a row. He's not going to clean sweep the round, but he's going to get 2 race wins on the trot here. So round 1, round 2 will go to Slambo, but obviously unofficial until everything has been investigated. So no doubt there's going to be a few things to look at before the results become official. So heading on to the main straight now, there's going to be Slambo coming out with another win to open his season. Overwhelming favourite according to Stu. He's won 2 races in a row so far. And we got Ghost coming home in P2. He has went 1 position better. And it looks like he's also going to make his way up in the P2 in the championship. So wonderful drive from him. Unlucky not to come out P1 because he had some quite fine pace in the mid-stage of that race. And unfortunately for Penguin, between the contact with him and Slambo, he sees himself come home in P3. Stimson right behind in P4. And Stimson's had a time penalty there. So that invites Cart Dude up in the P4. Cart number 1 up in the P5. So what's the time penalty been granted to Stimson? A 10-second time penalty from Stimson. So he's been speeding in pit lane. And that's really going to hinder his result there. He was P2 in the championship coming in. And unfortunately, we might see him actually come out around P3, P4. With our usual end of race shenanigans here. As the remaining drivers come across the line now. We see Nige on his roof there. Westy Mike coming across the line in P13. And we've got Turbo in P14. As Tozza's already crossed the line there. It's basically made it into a road Porsche car, not a race car. So that has been round 2 of the Pagnian GT3 series at RaceOnOz Div 1. So we'll go to what we've got up next week for RaceOnOz's Pagnian GT3 series. So next week, I've got it wrong here. So round 3 is actually meant to be Monza. I've got the wrong thing up on stream. So it will be at the same time. I've got the date wrong as well. So it'll be on the 31st of May. And we'll actually start at 8 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that round will actually be a sprint race round. There will be 2 separate sprint races to contend with. And I think one of them's 12 and one of them's 13. But that will be up on the next stream if I do have the details wrong there. So I've been Metamon. I hope you enjoyed round 2 of the Pagnian GT3 series hosted by RaceOnOz. No doubt it excited me and I hope it excited you. So I hope to see you for the next round, round 3.